This is a good one. This is a comment that I have to make a video about. So much gratitude to our great friend, Maxwell Smart. I've learned so much from him, and I always will. Comment on a video called "Am I Balding? Is it ironic for me to be a hair loss spokesman?" Here's what he had to say, and he is a barber, Maxwell Smart. Quote, "My interpretation of balding is different than the clinical one. I define balding when the hair has become so sparse that no haircut will essentially cover those areas where the scalp shows through. Recession and thinning are common to many people who never go bald. I think it is unjust to tell someone who may look to have the initial stages of Norwood 2 or 3 that he is balding. That person may never progress any further on the Norwood scale. In my opinion, you are not balding." End quote. Thank you, Maxwell Smart, not for saying that because it flatters me. It doesn't flatter me. This is factual. It's not like, remember, I'm a very secure person. I know exactly who I am as a person and my identity. My hair is not part of that. I constantly change my hairstyles to reinvent myself. Part of my identity is reinventing myself and staying relevant and fresh. But part of my identity is not my hair. My hair is just an accessory that I'm using until I can't do that anymore. But I like what he said here, because what we have to keep in mind, think of it this way. This may be an awful or actually pretty clever analogy. Let's think of, how many are you? Like 20, there's over 2,300 of you, right? Let me look, oh, okay. There's over 2,300 subscribers. I want to know exactly when this was made. Okay, almost 24. 2,378 subscribers as of the exact filming of this particular video, okay? So pushing 2,400. It's safe to say that most of you are very, very in tune with looking at another man and assessing his scale of balding. So therefore, if you've watched 5 or more of my videos, you've seen my hair lengths change, you've seen me pull up my hair to show you my hairline and my thinning. We're more judgmental on each other because that's what this club, this group is all about, the Brotherhood of Hair Loss. We overanalyze hair loss. I should make that our slogan. We overanalyze hair loss. We totally do. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think that's a healthy thing. If you are on a journey of trying to overcome your hair loss psychologically, which is really what my whole agenda is here as the host of this channel, I think that's good to overanalyze things. Eventually, you won't have to overanalyze them anymore because you've moved on with something in your life. Now, in theory, I may never have that ability because if I'm always the host, then I'm always going to be building on top of that. But that's okay. So I think that's interesting to hear a barber's perspective, though, of what balding means. So you know, the highlight from that was when he was saying how basically when you don't have enough hair that you can even really pull off hairstyles anymore. He says, "I define balding when the hair has become so sparse that no haircut will essentially cover those areas where then the scalp shows through." So clearly, well, you know, I'm thinning. I'm Norwood 3. I get that. My peninsula is getting even thinner, I believe, than it was a year ago, even with me using the rosemary and argan oil. I definitely see that myself when I look in the mirror. However, I'm not balding according to a barber, because I can have my hair 2.5 inches on top and still, from how many feet away? 8 feet away, 6 feet away, now 10 feet away. How, like 12 feet away? The rest of the world doesn't see me as a balding man. Am I literally balding? Yes. Am I receding? Yes. Yes, I am. But it's all based on whose definition of balding we're talking about. And so I make this video to remind us, our definition of balding is completely different. And this is how I want to end the video with what a moment ago when I said I had this analogy that may be clever, maybe awful. I want to relate it to politics, American politics. You know me, I'm a libertarian, and one of the things that troubles me about our nation and the way that we look at politics is you're either 100% Republican or 100% Democrat, and if you're anything else in between, then the other side is an idiot. So if you're a conservative Republican, you're 100% against abortion, and anyone else whoever is in favor of abortion, guess what? They're idiots. right? But if you're a Democrat and you look at Republicans and maybe they are against gay marriage because they believe it goes against their religion, then guess what? All of them are idiots, right? And see, that bothers me about our country. I don't want to be involved in that game. I don't want to be so ultra anything. I don't want to be ultra conservative. I don't want to be ultra liberal. I want to be in the middle and be able to say, hey, I get to make my own decisions. I'm not going to leave it up to another party to decide. Okay, now that I've illustrated how American politics work and why it troubles me, because I am in the middle. I disassociate equally from both sides. With that being said, I think it's kind of that way with the group we've got here, pushing 2,400 subscribers. We're so in tune with hair loss that we're like ultra, I think for the sake of the illustration, we're ultra conservative when it comes to analyzing hair loss. We're the alt-right of hair loss is what I believe. I believe that overall, we're the alt-right of hair loss. For better or worse, I think that's really what it comes down to. Now, what would the alt-left be? The far left would be not acknowledging hair loss, being, in theory, naive to the point where, like most people are. I think most people don't see me as a guy with it. Well, I know for a fact most people don't see me. Really, no one sees me as a guy who's losing his hair. Because I think most people are on the far left side as things go. They're not trained to look at this. Unless they see like a Norwood 4 or worse, they're seeing a guy who's not even struggling with hair loss at all, because it's just a normal thing. But I think we are the alt-right. I think we're the ultra-conservative when it comes to hair loss, to the point that we overanalyze everything. And it's fine, but I mean, people will stop the camera. They'll say, hey, look at him at 143 in the video. You can see his crown thing or whatever. Is that what's going on, or is that just reflection? You know, I mean, but we can do that and overanalyze because we're ultra conservative and just so hardcore when it comes to dissecting all of this. That's what I think. That's what I think as far as why definitions of balding can be so much different. For us, the alt-right, we have our own definition. For most of the other people in the universe, they're not like us. They're just waving around in the universe, not noticing that. They have a different... And then we've got intelligent men like Maxwell Smart. I think he was actually probably in the middle. He's not so far right like so many people are who are like, shave it off, you're balding, shave it. He's definitely not like that. As a barber, he's able to see, you know what? You're balding when I can no longer give you a hairstyle based on how much hair you've lost. What a simple, intelligent answer. So, you know that I have so much respect for Maxwell Smart. Always will. This guy knows what he's talking about. He is the voice of reason. I try to be the voice of reason, but hashtag 2004, mad props to Maxwell Smart. True balding, I think he's right, has to do with when you no longer are able to have a hairstyle because you've lost so much hair. Thanks, Max.